Very good price action today for CLNV. Not quite as high as we wanted, but still very good. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again on this happy Friday. This is ARCa coming at you with a CLNV technicals and raw price action thread of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining the trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay. So, sorry for skipping a beat there, but check this out. I have something very interesting to show you. This is the monthly chart CLNV, and let me just bring up these drawings here. And what you're looking at here is actually very potential reason why we're facing the price action that we're doing. So this is a falling wedge, okay? So this is a bullish statement from CLNV, okay? And we're getting the breakout actually, no, we're getting the breakout just at the right point. So usually these triangles tend to break out at about 65% to the apex of the triangle, and we pretty much succeeded that. So what you're looking at here is this. Please notice that your resistance touches are absolutely in line here. So upon breaking out, we had 2 monthly candles to come back and validate that resistance line and now convert it into a support before a continuation onto the upside. Another reason that we're facing the resistance that we're doing is from the monthly 20 EMA. Okay, so this is the 20-day exponential moving average, and you can see just how well we've been using it as a resistance. Now that we broke out of this triangle, of course, this is the monthly. You can see here that we actually just started it a couple days ago. So this is 27 days and 22 hours on a monthly. Okay, so very likely, it's the reason why we're continuing on to the upside, other than the fact that there is some fundamental metrics and fundamental news and catalysts. It just so happens that it meets very well with the price action, right? So in order for us to get a price target, right, we can take a trend line from the top of the triangle to the lowest point of the triangle. This is one way, okay? And we apply it to the area of breakout, okay? So in this case, we can see that this candle here would be the first one to close above the area. So we can go ahead and apply that trend line right to there. Okay, so this is telling us that the overall target that we're looking for is about 77 cents. Yes, it's a little massive. Remember, we're on the monthly here, so it takes time for this to realize. Okay, so this is as far as I went with the analysis today. I just noticed this on the monthly, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. And now I can evaluate some targets, right? So I haven't actually seen everything that has been said or has been done, right? So let me just go ahead and take a fib from the overall high of the triangle to the lowest point of the triangle. Okay, so let's see what we get. I just want to see if we're actually following some market geometry. All right, so let me just put that there. And okay, so it looks like the top side target is going right to the 2 fib, which is right upside of the 1.618. Okay, so very interesting geometrics here. So let's go ahead and just make sure that we can note that as a form of resistance. Okay, so it's going to take some time for us to get there, but it looks like CLNV is prepping for it anyway. Okay, very interesting price action. Please notice how we came back with both of these candles, right? Both of these candles came back right perfectly to test that resistance, just like these right over here, right? But as a support now. And then upon validating 2 months straight, we are now moving on that upside, getting ready to test that 20 EMA yet again. Now, the 20 EMA, if you're curious right now, is located at about 9 cents, 907. So we'll go ahead and take a trend line there as well, just so that we can keep it in line with us, right? So let's just go ahead and note it right there. Okay, so that could be a very strong area of resistance coming up, but it doesn't mean that we're going to fail it. It doesn't mean that we're going to succeed it. It just means that we're about to face it. Okay, so we have to evaluate the charts and just kind of move as the days go by, right? So but everything is looking very bullish for CLNV. Okay, so now let's go ahead and touch on the pennant. Okay, so this is the large pennant that we were riding. We talked about yesterday the potentials of. I talked about yesterday regarding a live thread that I released, I think last week, talking about potentially testing this diagonal line, which would essentially be the newly converted resistance of the pennant into a support. So we extended it just a little bit to see if that was the case. We never actually closed the candle below it. We validated it as a form of support, and now we're continuing on to the upside. The reason why I'm bringing this chart up is not for the pennant, though. I just wanted to kind of update you guys on that, right? So the reason why I'm talking to you guys about this is because the price action seems to be following the exponential moving averages. Okay, so it's pretty much all about the EMAs here. Okay, so what you're looking at here is the EMA 7, and this is the EMA 20 on the daily, right? This is the EMA 30, and this is the EMA 50. Okay, so what you're looking at here is price action starting to contract within the EMAs. Okay, so that usually, when that happens, we start to contract within it, and then we get an upside move. Just like we did here. Check it out. We have all the EMAs expanded, right? And then all the price actions start to consolidate, and it starts to kind of tighten up within the EMAs, and then we get an upside move. Very likely what's happening again. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next chart. Actually, one more thing I can touch down here. Okay, so this is volatility you're looking at here, represented by this indicator BBWP. And usually, remember, volatility is direction neutral. So we pair it with a momentum-based indicator to gauge that bias for direction, right? So what we're looking at here is that we have been kind of tapping in the area of critical volatility, which is at the 90% or within the 90 percentile, right? So the very curious thing here is that we're starting to get the curvature from the stochastic momentum oscillator, which usually means that this is facing a corrective move and we're about to curve into the upside. Okay, so that's very good. That's very good for the asset. Okay, especially from when we're coming down from expansion like this, just like we did here. Okay, so we started coming down from critical expansion, and the momentum started correcting. Right, as soon as we broke the line and started actually contracting, then we actually started making these moves to the upside. Very likely what's happening yet again. So not following the natural ebb and flow of the markets, right? So here's another very good thing to touch on. Okay, first of all, we have multiple time frames in critical volatility with an upside pivot. Okay, and to be precise with you, it's actually the bi-hourly, 4-hour, 6-hour, 8-hour, and 12-hour that we have this setup pretty much happening. Okay. But aside from the volatility versus momentum on the 8-hour chart, I would just like to point out that today we printed a very nice bullish engulfing. Okay, so this is the price action for today, both of these candles. Okay, so as you can see here, red body engulfed by a larger green body that usually signals a continuation to the upside. Okay, aside from that, it looks like it's already kind of a silly little bull flag, right? So good stuff. The resistance that we faced today yet again was from that tiny little gap that we were talking about yesterday. Okay, please notice just how close the price action ended up coming to it. We noticed this tiny little gap yesterday and said that this was likely what we did to come back and fill it with this candle here from yesterday. Okay, so we came back and filled it. And then, of course, I always tell you guys to maintain your gaps for future play, right? So in this case, you can see that we clearly got resisted, and we got resisted yet again on the final 8-hour candle for the day. So let's go ahead and now move on to the last part of the analysis, as CLNV is looking pretty good. All right, immediate short-term time frame, 30-minute, is suggesting an upside almost immediately, and we are sitting well within the gravitational zone of the bull weakness percentile, so this is looking very good. 14-day simple moving average below us. Good deal. Okay, so the bi-hourly is actually suggesting a continuation to the upside as well. 14-day simple moving average to the upside as well. We are in the gravitational zone of the bear weakness, which is likely to pull us to the upside, right? So now the 8-hour time frame is also sitting right in that gravitational pull. However, this one looks to have a little bit of limited upside, okay? And the reason why we can say that is because we have the resistance from the bull weakness gravitational zone and the 14-day simple moving average, okay? So very likely going to face a little bit of consolidation before a continuation onto the upside. Okay, so now the daily time frame is actually in that gravitational zone, getting ready to cross into the bull weakness percentile, and it looks like it's influencing or starting to influence at 14 days simple. Okay, so this is looking very, very good. Now, the bi-daily time frame is showing some limited upside as well, but please remember that when we're looking at the bi-daily RSI, the distance from the RSI signal to the 14-day simple moving average is quite the distance away. Okay, and a very similar situation here on the 5-day, just suggesting that we do have some limited upside coming in. Very likely, the upside on the 5-day could be facing some resistance from that 909. Okay, very much in line with that, or even the 3-day actually. So very much in line with that 20-day exponential moving average on the monthly. Okay, so I'm definitely seeing immediate upside for CLNV. However, on the very short-term time frame, we can see a little bit of resistance right on that 8 hours. So where could that be? Well, I still have to honor the targets that we were talking about yesterday. So very likely we can come back and, yesterday we were talking about touching this resistance zone, particularly to the 1.618. However, we came just about 20 decimals or whatever you call it. This candle here has a high of, you can see the high right up here, has a high of 780. We were talking about 8 cents. To about 854, right? So we came just shy of it and kind of retraced based on this little resistance from the gap, right? So the likelihood of coming back up to test this 8 to 854 on Monday is very likely. Okay, you guys, so I'm really liking what CLNV is doing in the price action. Lots of bullish signals, lots of important crosses, and absolute momentum versus volatility absolutely in our favor. Okay, you guys, please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. Okay, I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be just fine. Okay, you guys, but with that said, I wish you well, a very good weekend, and I will catch you at the bell on Monday. Adios.